Hi, and welcome to Inside Us. In this video, we will talk about respiratory system and its role in the formation of human body. The respiratory system is a group of organs responsible for taking in oxygen, eliminating carbon dioxide, and maintaining proper pH balance in the body. It consists of the nasal cavity, pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, and alveoli. Nasal cavity. The nasal cavity is a hollow space in the head that is located above and behind the nose. It is lined with a moist, thin membrane called the mucosa, which is rich in blood vessels and contains tiny hair-like structures called cilia. These cilia help to filter out dirt and other particles that may be inhaled. The nasal cavity has several functions. It warms and moistens the air that is breathed in, which helps to keep the respiratory tract moist and prevents the mucosa from drying out. It also filters the air, removing dust, pollen, and other particles that may be harmful to the body. The nasal cavity is lined with tiny hair-like structures called cilia that help to sweep these particles out of the airway and prevent them from entering the lungs. The nasal cavity also helps to detect odors. It contains small, sensitive cells called olfactory neurons, which are responsible for detecting and identifying different smells. When an odorant molecule is inhaled, it binds to receptors on the olfactory neurons, triggering a response that is sent to the brain. The brain then interprets the signal as a specific smell. Pharynx. The pharynx, also known as the throat, is a muscular tube that extends from the base of the skull to the esophagus and larynx. It serves as a common passageway for both air and food and plays a vital role in the respiratory and digestive systems. The pharynx is divided into three regions: the nasopharynx, oropharynx, and laryngopharynx. The nasopharynx is the upper part of the pharynx that is located behind the nasal cavity. It is separated from the nasal cavity by the soft palate, which is a muscular structure that moves up and down to close off the nasal cavity when we swallow. The oropharynx is the middle part of the pharynx and is located behind the mouth. The laryngopharynx is the lower part of the pharynx and is located behind the larynx. The pharynx is lined with a mucous membrane that helps to moisten and protect the tissues. It contains several small muscles that help to move food and liquids from the mouth to the esophagus and to prevent them from entering the respiratory system. The pharynx also contains the tonsils, which are small, round masses of lymphoid tissue that help to defend the body against infection. The pharynx also plays a role in speech, as the sound waves that are produced by the larynx pass through it on their way out of the body. Larynx. The larynx, also known as the voice box, is a muscular organ located at the top of the trachea or the windpipe. It is responsible for producing sound, protecting the trachea from foreign objects, and regulating the flow of air to and from the lungs. The larynx contains the vocal cords, which are two bands of elastic tissue that stretch across the larynx and vibrate when air passes through them. The vibrations of the vocal cords produce sound waves, which are then modified by the surrounding structures of the larynx, such as the tongue, lips, and teeth to produce speech. The pitch of the sound produced by the vocal cords depends on their tension and thickness. The larynx also contains the epiglottis, a flap of cartilage that covers the opening to the trachea when we swallow. This helps to prevent food and liquids from entering the airway and lungs. The larynx also has a series of small muscles that help to open and close the opening to the trachea called the glottis and to control the flow of air. In addition to its role in speech and protection of the airway, the larynx also plays a role in maintaining the proper pH balance in the body. It does this by controlling the rate of respiration, which is the process of exchanging oxygen and carbon dioxide in the body. Trachea. The trachea, also known as the windpipe, is a tube-like structure that extends from the larynx voice box to the bronchi in the lungs. It is composed of rings of cartilage that help to keep the trachea open and prevent it from collapsing. The trachea is lined with a mucous membrane that helps to moisten and protect the tissues. It is also lined with small hair-like structures called cilia that help to sweep mucus and other debris out of the airway. The trachea is about 4 inches long and about 1 inch in diameter. It is divided into two main branches, called the bronchi, which lead to the right and left lungs. The trachea and bronchi are part of the respiratory system and are responsible for carrying air to and from the lungs. Bronchi. The bronchi are the two main air tubes that branch off the trachea and lead to the lungs. Each bronchus enters a lung and divides into smaller tubes called bronchioles, which in turn divide into even smaller tubes called alveoli. The bronchi and bronchioles make up the bronchial tree, which is responsible for distributing air to the alveoli. The bronchi are lined with a mucous membrane that helps to moisten and protect the tissues. They also contain tiny hair-like structures called cilia and mucus-producing cells that help to filter out dirt and other particles that may be inhaled. The cilia and mucus work together to sweep these particles out of the bronchi and prevent them from entering the lungs. The bronchi also contain small muscles that help to control the flow of air to and from the lungs. During inhalation, the muscles in the bronchi relax and the walls of the bronchi expand, allowing air to flow in. During exhalation, the muscles in the bronchi contract and the walls of the bronchi narrow, forcing air out of the lungs. That's it for today. Hope you like this video. For more videos related to human body and medical science, please hit that subscribe button. See you in the next one.